Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you my all-time favorite tank, M46 Patton. So here we go. So here we are in the garage, and I just wanted to chat a little bit about what equipment do I use on this beautiful tank, what crew skills are the best for this tank. So as you know, this is a tier 9, so the matchmaking is like so that you see tier 10 all the time. So I feel that even though this tank is expensive to run, it's not as expensive as, let's say, T54. I do seem to like this tank much more. I know a lot of people are saying that T54 is an OP tank. I find this tank to be much more OP in capable hands. And I'm not saying that I'm some kind of wizard with this tank or any other tanks, but for me it suits my playstyle much more than T54 does. I find this tank is much more flexible than T54. It has great DPM, just an amazing DPM really. Some tier 10s have similar DPM to this tier 9. It has great APCR rounds, and as you can see I carry 33 of them, which is almost double the amount of regular AP rounds. Also it does carry a lot of rounds overall, so I can afford to carry 6. And in the game that is going to follow this quick review in the garage, you're going to see that I do use them, especially right now with the abundance of tanks like Grill 15, RHM Borsig, you know, all these paper thin tanks. It really is helpful to carry at least a few, to be able to finish off some opponents on low health, or to reset the cap, or to deal much more damage. As you can see, HE round in this tank does up to 600 damage per shot. Okay, a little bit about the modules and why I put these modules and not the other. So as you know, on most of my medium tanks I like to have optics. I do bypass optics for vents to improve my DPM on this tank, because I do carry premium consumable. This tank has 410 base view range, so as you can see in here, I get my view range up to 472, which is what I find is more than enough to bypass most camo ratings on all the light tanks and tank destroyers hiding in the bush. So this is really enough for me. DPM is great, like I told you already. So with this kind of setup I have 7.1 reload time, so my reload time is down to 7.1. But keep in mind that I do run a very skillful crew, so maybe if I didn't have brothers in arms and perks for the view range, I would opt for optics instead. Once you get to your 5th perk, I feel that it's best to run this tank like so. I do recommend you carry a lot of APCR, because the pen on them is what makes this tank a true farmer for WN8. So as you can see, 265, so you can pen all the tier 10s and not be afraid of them. You just have to be careful. You have to use the ridge lines and your view range and camo. As you can see, I have almost full camo on this crew. Another thing that surprises a lot of people, especially friends of mine who watch me play this tank, is the snapshotting ability of this tank. So you can be going full speed, just come around the corner and shoot, and you don't need to aim or stop or do any of that silly stuff that you do in other tanks. So in this tank, it's pretty much aiming is pretty much counterproductive, because the stabilization is so great that on medium range distances you are just wasting your time. So not that you don't need to aim, but you need to aim much less than other tanks. And aim time on this is really low. So what's a little bit disappointing is the dispersion at 100 meters, and this is dispersion with cola, so without cola it's even higher. But I find it's workable, especially with the pen on APCR round being 264. 264, let me see. It's better in this view, 265. So this kind of pen I find sometimes, unless you're meeting somebody like driving an E100, you should be fine, really. So that's all I gotta say. You can see my crew skills here, you can see my setup, my layout, you can see my rounds, consumables, everything in here. let's jump into a game and I'm gonna show you a mastery badge game. So today's match is on Westfield. Usually I like to go on the other side of the map when I'm in my medium tanks, especially with good gun depression and good camo. I feel that it's easy to push that flank. But as we're gonna see in a second when I turn back on the teams, yeah, right about now, there's a lot of heavy tanks on their side and top tier heavy tanks, and we don't have that many. Even though we get the platoon of E50Ms, which are kind of like heavy tank in some situations, I see that they overpower our heavies by a big margin. Plus they got two scary tank destroyers, the 183 and the grill. So I decided to come here and help our heavies, especially knowing that I got great view range and I can spot those TGs in the back, and I got good gun depression. So when I come to this ridge, usually I spot all the tanks, and I did spot a few, but I didn't spot any tank destroyers. So I know that it gives us some flexibility. I use my gun depression to put a shot into a chick of T57 heavy. I know that he was preoccupied. Usually it's very easy to target drum tanks when they are unloading on someone. Usually they're zoomed in on that guy and they just unload continuously. And I do notice that I do make that mistake when I'm playing, let's say, my AMX50B, things like that. I kind of zoom in and I lose control of the map and the surroundings, and you just want to deal out as much damage as possible out of your drum. So that's what happened with T57. I know he's on the reload, and I notice the E5 going into the small town. So I decided to give him a shot and kind of stop him a little bit from pushing through. Kind of let him know that I'm here, be aware. So I see the same thing. T57 heavy unloads. I know he's zoomed in. I know he doesn't see me. So I'm just kind of gluing to him and giving him another shot. So far so good. I've already dealt this much damage, but I see that E5 is around us. So he was able to kill the tier 10 TD. And I'm kiting back, hoping that he's not gonna put a shot into me, but as we all know, he has good gun depression as well, and a really good gun with good stabilization. If I loved playing heavy tanks, that would probably be one of my favorites, but I don't seem to like them that much. So I give him a few shots in return for his shot. While looking at the map, I see that 183 decides to advance, and I know I need to help with that tank. Again, he's sideways to me, so really I don't need the APCR here, but there was too much going on at that time, and I was just damage hungry, so I didn't switch. I could have saved a few credits in this match, but hey, when you play tier 10 and tier 9, it's for fun, right? You have to enjoy those tanks, you have to show good results in them. So I was hoping I'm gonna track him and actually re-track him and deal some damage, but this is the cheater IS-4. Those tanks sometimes are the easiest to pen up, like in the front directly into the upper front or lower plate. They're easy to pen, but sometimes you come from the side like that and you cannot do damage, unfortunately. But at least I get some assistance, which I'm fine with. So we've cleared up our side of the map, and it's 8-8. I see Greeley in here. I know there's no armor on that tank, so I load HE. And actually I feel that this was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that because there's a lot of other tanks. I didn't quite know which tank I'm gonna encounter first, so I should have stuck to my AP rounds or APCR. I don't deal any damage. I believe I probably broke his gun in this at that moment. And I make a second mistake in this, is that I'm in the wide open and I'm lit, and there's so many tanks that can shoot me that it's not funny. I realized this mistake really quickly and I corrected. Thank God the T-54 shooting HE rounds. So I hide, and then I kind of decide to re-engage again. and I find my opponent, M46 Patton versus M46 Patton. But thank God I have my friends who are helping me out. Again, I'm in the wide open. This whole play in the end game was really bad. I feel I played well in the beginning on the ridge, but here I got stuck in this open space, and I know not in a good space. I know I'm not in the right space. The good thing would be probably to come across and kind of push it on them the way that object is doing on the other side. That's what I should have done, but I get stuck here, and they're all hiding. They're all one-shots. So I should have loaded HE right now, and I'm still with my AP rounds, but I'm gonna correct that mistake. Yeah, right about now. So when you see a lot of one-shots like that, it's best to use HE, because you can attach them with HE and they're dead, and this is exactly what you want. As you can see here, I might have tracked that guy with a AP shot, but he's as good as dead now. WZ got taken out by our object, and now we are for 4 versus 1, and we got full HP T62A, so I'm kind of not worried at all about Grillia. I see the tree falling, and I'm gonna come up and finish him right now, like so. Again, HE works magic with this kind of things. Easy mastery badge. Probably not a lot of people playing this tank right now. I've had a few before which were much more impressive, but I'll take it. So I hope you like this replay. 4 kills, 4300 damage, as you can see, 1900 experience. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please consider giving me a like down below, subscribe to my channel, and hopefully I will show you some more videos to enjoy in the near future.